How to stop craving the narcissist, even though you know they are so bad for you. Why do we do that? In this video, you're going to find out how you can break free from those cravings. I'm Carol Rathel, occupational therapist. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the second video in my series of how to recover from narcissistic abuse spiritually. So I'm going to share with you today 5 really powerful things you can do to break your cravings. In the first half of the video, we're going to look at 5 reasons why you have those cravings, and in the second half, we're going to talk about what you can do. You may want to listen to this again with a pen and paper. So the number one reason why you still have cravings for the narcissist, even though you've broken up weeks, months, years ago, is because of something called a trauma bond. Now, a trauma bond happens in your brain. It's a neurochemical addiction to, actually, abuse. When a person who loves somebody or has strong feelings towards a person, when they are repeatedly rejected or hurt or manipulated, their brain hungers to be with them. The brain wants to bond with them. And we know that we don't discover what narcissists are really like until we are well and truly bonded. But fortunately, there is something we can do about it. The second reason why we have ongoing cravings is because there's a deeply ingrained thought circuit in our brain, or maybe more than one, about the narcissist. If you think back in your relationship, were you always trying to get them to notice you, always trying to please them, always trying to make them understand something that you've been accused of that isn't true? There were very powerful thought circuits going on around those things. They just keep on circuiting around your brain until you can stop focusing on the narcissist. And I know that you've tried, and I know it's not working, but I'm going to show you how you can reprogram your brain to stop all of that. The third reason why you are obsessed and craving for the narcissist is about energy. There is an energy connection between you. In a normal relationship, 2 people exchange energy. It's a give and take. And you do form these cords of attachment between you that are giving and receiving love. And in a healthy relationship, that's a well-balanced connection. In a relationship of narcissistic abuse, however, it's mostly one way. It's the narcissist taking your energy. Sure, they might have given it to you in the very beginning, but once they got you, they started sucking the narcissistic supply out of you. Those cords don't automatically go away. You need to cut them. You need to stop them taking your energy. They are literally controlling you from a distance, and that sounds awful. So I will share a method of how you can stop giving them energy. And in my next video that's due out in a few days, I'm going to take you through a cord cutting ceremony to cut all those cords so there is no psychic connection between you whatsoever. The fourth reason why you are craving the narcissist still is because, in a way, you've become dependent on them. They controlled you. You may not realize quite how much they controlled you, but they did. And in a way, you became dependent on them to know what to do next. Things as simple as what to have for dinner, what you're going to do for the evening. Possibly they wouldn't let you go out without taking you out. Maybe they kept you at home and you only went out with them. All of this creates a dependence, and I'm going to show you how you can break that. The fifth reason is because you were chosen to be the partner of a narcissist because you lack a certain level of self-love. You may think that you love yourself quite well. I thought I loved myself quite well. It wasn't until I had been in the pits of complete wreck, which I shared with you in the previous video, that I realised I had not been loving myself. I didn't know how to love myself, so I set out to find out how. People who are self-loving and confident with who they are not attracted to narcissists. In fact, the narcissist is not attracted to them. So those are 5 reasons, and I'm going to share with you now 5 powerful ways you can claim your power back and break your addiction, your craving, or your obsession for the narcissist. So to break a trauma bond, you need to remind yourself of all the horrible things the narcissist did, the ways you felt. It's good to have a notebook or pen and paper and write down what the narcissist did to hurt you. Get really honest with yourself, and it doesn't matter if you're crying your eyes out as you're doing this. It's good and healing if you are. But write those things down. And when you've done that list, write down at least as many reasons why you are better off without the narcissist. You can make your own decisions. You can eat what you like when you like. You can watch TV and relax when you like. You don't have to put up with their picky ways, whatever they were. You have freedom to go out whenever you like. So those are some suggestions. See if you can come up with more. Now, when you find yourself obsessing or wanting that narcissist in your life again, read that list to yourself. Put it somewhere where you can see it and remind yourself why it's not good to go back and why it's great that you're free. In time, your brain is going to learn this new story, and it's going to prune away the nerve connections based around that craving, and it's going to build a network on you being independent and strong on your own. And that leads on to number 2, about the automatic thought patterns, and that is reprogramming your mind. So when you find yourself thinking about them, like, be an observer in your mind and notice when you're thinking about them. Just say to yourself, stop! And say, right now I am free of that person, and right now I am doing whatever it is you're doing, and put your attention back on what it is you're doing. Again, the brain is going to prune away, which means literally it's going to detach the nerve connections that are in that whole circuit of thinking about the narcissist, and it's going to create a new one. And it doesn't matter how many times you have to stop yourself. Every single time you do that, you are making permanent change in your brain. So keep doing it. Don't worry if you've just done it 20 times in the last quarter of an hour. It will change, and it will change fairly quickly. Just keep at it. Number 3 was about your energetic connection to the narcissist. I'm going to do a video on this, on cutting those cords. But for now, give yourself the intention that you're going to find out where those cords are attaching to you. It could be your heart, it could be your shoulder, it could be your gut. Begin to feel into your body and find where they are. And when you do, just place your hands, I'm going to do one for the throat. Place your hands over the area and say, I am containing my energy. I am not giving away any of myself to that person anymore. And that will hold you till we do the cord cutting. The 4th powerful thing you can do is become independent and powerful in your own right. You are a sovereign being. You have the right to stand tall and do what you want. Before that person came along, you were doing this. You were making your own decisions. You were choosing what you wanted to do. You were making your mind up as to how you wanted to live. Start doing that again. Start to notice when you're feeling a bit lost, because in certain activities they were in control. When you notice that, say to yourself, hey, I get to choose. I get to decide, and I get to run my life. And when you keep doing that, when you notice and you affirm that for yourself, naturally your subconscious is listening. Your energy field is reattuning to you being empowered. It's a very powerful thing to do. The last thing I'm going to mention today, a really powerful way of breaking your obsession, addiction, craving for that narcissist, is to learn to love yourself. Do the things that you love to do. Maybe they're things that you stop doing to make room for that relationship. But when you go back and do things that you used to really enjoy doing, that could be a hobby, maybe you are a creative person, go and do those things, even if you don't feel like it. Because when you do, it triggers a memory in your brain and actually brings on those good feelings that you had in the past. And it's going to piggyback on now. Your subconscious mind, where that memory is, has no idea of time. So when you start doing those things that make you feel good, it's going to feel good. And then you're going to notice feeling good. Exercise is another way of loving yourself. If you don't have an exercise routine, start one. Even if it's walking for 20 minutes, 3 times a week. What exercise does is it starts our body flowing with endorphins, dopamine and good feeling hormones. When we have those feel good hormones in our system, naturally we're going to feel good, and then we can release oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and we can reflect that back on ourselves. And another really cool way to reflect that love back on yourself is to start talking to yourself in a loving way. A person who falls victim to narcissistic abuse usually has some form of abuse in their past. It could be neglect, and it could be several types of abuse. So you have what we would call the inner child construct inside yourself. So start talking to that inner child in a loving way. I started a commentary that was pretty much non-stop. So even the smallest things I did, like making a coffee, making a hot chocolate, picking some lettuce and herbs for my dinner, I praised myself every step of the way. It's like, well done, Carol, for growing that lettuce so you can enjoy fresh organic food for your dinner. And when you start talking to yourself in a loving way, something really exciting happens. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Emoto's experiments of frozen water particles, but there was this dam in Japan and it was polluted, and he got little test tubes of water and he set up some experiments. One was labelled love, and they also had one called hate, they had one called forgiveness, compassion, and I can't remember the rest. But under a microscope, when that water was frozen, those little tiny water particles were frozen, the loved ones formed just beautiful, three-dimensional, wonderful mandala-like designs, like a snowflake, but more intricate. The thoughts of hate look like a grotesque, distorted monster. Now we are at least 80% water, so imagine how much love we're giving ourselves when 80% of us is responding to our message of love. Loving yourself is the most powerful way you can heal from anything. It is so powerful, and I'm going to stop myself because I can go into a really big rant about this, but let's rant another day. It's time to focus on yourself. It's not selfish to focus on yourself. It's really healthy to turn your attention towards yourself so you can heal. If you want to be part of the cord cutting ceremony, subscribe so you can learn how to cut those cords. And of course, it's not just with a narcissist, but you've probably got a lot of cord attachments to people who have hurt you in the past. And we can use this ceremony, the cord cutting, for anyone. So I look forward to seeing you, and I'll be waiting for you in the next video. Bye for now.